event, let us stand together for the singing of the Gathering Computer Perdana. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good evening. Salam sejahtera, salam sejahtera saya. Desire is melonjak jabatan untuk visi mengajar Indonesia. To our respected speaker, Profesor Dr. Noreffendy and Tamaldin, and all our own guests, Profesor Dr. Muhammad Panji, and all high management of Faculty of Mechanical Technology and Profesor, industry partner, academic guests, and lecturers, welcome and thank you for joining us today. I am Noreffendy, your MC for today's inaugural lecture series. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to share that this lecture series also a mark of highlight event of mechanical venture, proudly organized by FTDM. The program has been running from 10 to 25 June in celebration of the 25th anniversary. To bless this event, we now invite the Executive Director to lead the doa of this program.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Ya Allah, kami pada petang yang penuh keberkatan ini, kami berkumpul dan berhimpun bersama dengan Majlis Syarahan Perdana Profesor Tamaldin Dr. Noreffendy Tamaldin. Pada hari ini kami mendatangkan memuji dan syukur di atas limpah rahmat dan nikmat serta hidayah-Mu kepada kami. Ya Rabb, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, berikanlah kami taufik dan hidayah-Mu, inayah dan riayah-Mu, pemikiran yang benar-benar mantap. Bimbinglah kami semua ke arah ketakwaan, kecemerlangan, kejayaan dan kesejahteraan di dunia dan akhirat. Ya Zal Jalal wal Ikram, kami mohon limpah kurnia ihsan-Mu, anugerahkanlah kami ilmu yang bermanfaat, hati yang penuh syukur, yang penuh khusyuk, amalan yang Engkau terima, rezeki yang luas, jalan lurus yang Engkau redai. Bukalah pintu hati kami agar kami sentiasa mendapat taufik dan hidayah-Mu, serta mampu membuat perancangan yang tersusun, tepat dan jitu sesuai dengan kehendak-Mu ya Allah, untuk membina insan yang rabbani, yang berkualiti dan masyarakat yang cemerlang, di samping memperolehi rahmat dan keredaan-Mu. Ya Razzaq, berilah kami nikmat kesihatan, kekuatan, keyakinan serta istiqamah untuk terus menyumbangkan kebakaran, pemikiran dan tingkat iltizam kami, agar segala ilmu yang telah Engkau kurniakan kepada kami dapat kami pergunakan, amalkan dan sampaikan dengan sebaik-baiknya dengan penuh jujur dan amanah demi kemajuan agama bangsa dan negara kami. Engkaulah perkuatkan dan eratkanlah ukhuwah dan kesepahaman antara kami. Jadikanlah segala usaha kami usaha yang berhasil. Universiti kami bukan begitu cemerlang, dapat membina masyarakat yang beriman dan berilmu ke arah mencapai radha-Mu. Ya Fatah Ta'alim, kami memohon kepada-Mu ya Rabb, agar program ini membawa impak yang positif kepada gerak kerja kami dan seluruh organisasi kami. Semuanya Engkaulah Maha berkehendak pada setiap sesuatu. Allahumma fka' alaina hikmataka wa nshur alaina min khazain rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Allahumma fka' alaina hukma rahimin wa zuqna faman nabiyyin balhamd malaikatil muqarrabin bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Allahumma ifka radaka wal jannah wa na'udzu bika min sakhatika wan nar. اللهم اسك سلامة في الدين وعافية في الجسد وزيادة في علمه وبركة في رزقه وتوبة قبل الموت ورحمة عند الموت ومغفرة بعد الموت. اللهم حوّن علينا في سكرات الموت والنجاة من النار والعفو عند الحساب. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Amin ya Rabbal Alamin. Thank you so much for the beautiful doa. This is your effort, there is no reward, and when we value knowledge, we practice this control. We now invite Professor Dr. Abdullah, Dean of Faculty of Mechanical Technology and Engineering, to introduce our speaker. Please welcome Professor.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Salam duka kesayangan Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor and privilege that I introduce to you the distinguished speaker of today's inaugural lectures, Professor Dr. Noreffendy bin Tamaldin, a respected academician, researchers, technologists, and community contributor whose journey of excellence spans both national and international platforms. Professor Noreffendy was born in Malacca General Hospital in the year of 1975. He began his yearly education at Sekolah Kebangsaan Seberang Rakyat in Kuala Lumpur, followed by his secondary education at MRSM Camp Perdana in Malacca, where his academic strength were first deeply nurtured. He then embarked on his higher education journey abroad in the United States, earning his Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering with honors from the University of Harvard in 1998. He continued his postgraduate studies at the same university, completing a Master of Engineering in Mechatronics with distinction in 2000. He earned his PhD in Automotive Engineering from Coventry University, United Kingdom in 2010. His research was part of collaboration with Jaguar Land Rover, focusing on urea SCR after treatment systems. Before joining them, Professor Noreffendy gained valuable experience both in the industry and academia. His career path included work as research engineer in the United States, a new product introduction, engineer at On Semiconductor, and a lecturer at UiTM Syarahan. He has been serving with distinction at UTM for over 2 decades. He currently holds the position of professor at the Department of Engineering, Faculty of Mechanical Technology and Engineering. His area of expertise including automotive mechatronics, renewable energy, specifically hydrogen and biofuel technologies. Professor Noreffendy is a prolific researcher with an outstanding track record. He has led and contributed to over 30 national and international research grants with a total value of more than 10 million Indian nation. His research impact spans sectors including sustainable energy, electrical vehicles, hydrogen technology, and emission control. He is also an inventor with a granted patent on hydrogen cell cooling technology and has earned multiple recognition in innovation exhibition, including 2 special awards, 6 gold medals, and numerous other accolades. In the realm of academic publication, Professor Noreffendy has authored over 100 journal articles and participated in more than 30 conferences with 7 keynote addresses and 13 invited talks delivered at both national and international levels. Beyond academia, Professor Noreffendy is actively engaged in industry collaboration and national level advisory panels, including as a panel for import accreditation and a consultant for leading organizations such as Proton, Produa, Petronas Research, NIMOS, Syarahan, and many others. Ladies and gentlemen, with a career defined by academic excellence, groundbreaking research, impactful innovation, and meaningful community service, Professor Dr. Noreffendy bin Tamaldin stands as a true embodiment of intellectual leadership and dedication to society. His list of contributions is both extensive and inspiring, far too vast to be fully captured in a single introduction. It is our hope that today's session will not only showcase his journey and achievement, but also inspire all of us in our own academic pursuit. Without further ado, let us welcome Professor Dr. Noreffendy bin Tamaldin to deliver his much anticipated inaugural lectures. May his insight today ignite inspiration, knowledge, and motivation in us of all. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Professor, for the kind introduction. I believe 5 minutes alone are not enough to highlight all of our speakers today. His contribution go beyond work performance and also respected for his strong character and commitment. Let us now watch a short multimedia presentation prepared by our committee sharing the journey of our speaker. be inspired to. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment of being looking forward to, we now invite Professor T.S. Dr. Noreffendy Tamaldin to read his premium lecture. Please welcome.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And very good evening. First of all, I would like to thank you, the Dean and all the organizing committee from the faculty who have been working very hard in making sure the success of this event today. And also, warm welcome to all my industry partner, my brother, and my Datuk Zami and all the team, and my colleague from UC Hartford, and my colleague from MRSM, and my colleague from MCC Kuantan. So, and all respected audience coming for this event today. So, it will be awkward on this angle. Okay, so today I'm going to deliver my lecture, basically a session or sharing session on one of the journey in completing international grant received from the European Union called Erasmus. So the title of my presentation today is basically bridging the gap of automotive industry from European to Southeast Asia under the Erasmus United Framework for Converting and Higher Education or CBC. Okay, as this project is basically the main target of the project is basically bridging the gap between the European and the Southeast Asia. So basically involving 6 countries, 3 from Europe and 3 from Malaysia. And the specific target is basically in automotive engineering and focusing on various aspects of automotive, especially energy, design, and so on. So this is basically the layout of my presentation today. So a little bit on the Erasmus grant project. Basically, Erasmus is one of the prestigious grants offered by the European Union, EU, under the European agency, headquarters in Brussels. Basically, the grant is, the duration of the grant is about 36 months initially, and the worth is about, the value is about 980 euro, approximately about 4.7 million ringgit, involving all the 6 countries, where you have 3 Europe, and this is part of the requirement, 3 Europe and 3 Southeast Asia, depending on call of action, they call it call of action. So in my particular project, we are choosing Southeast Asia as call of action, and the target is basically they have academics and they have industry. So in this particular area, we are looking at industry and focusing on automotive industry. So in Austria, it's basically the main host for EU, and then their partner in Germany, and also Polytechnic di Torino in Italy. So these 3 are becoming the 3 main hosts. Basically, their main strength is basically in automotive engineering, and what they are targeting is basically they want to do technology transfer from the European framework to Southeast Asia. So they are willing to share how they educate their engineers at the university, and making sure they're closing down the gap between the automotive industry and also the university at respective universities. So in Malaysia, UTM has been selected after a series of discussion and proposal writing, and our partner in Malaysia is UTM and one automotive industry, which is British. For Indonesia, University Sumatera Utara in Medan, University Udayana in Bali, and PT Jong in Jakarta, Indonesia. And Thailand partners Kuala Lumpur, Syarahan, and Atimumoto. Atimumoto is very famous in, if you're familiar with tuk-tuk. This is tuk-tuk in Thailand, 3-wheelers motorbike. And also the overall objective is basically to increase graduate employability enhance automotive industry and sharing automotive best practices between the university and industry, and also perform technology transfer according to the European framework to the South Asia universities, and also sharing best practices within the South Asia countries. So a little bit, and I think when we started this run, we had to introduce them to the global community. So this is one of the slides that I use. UTM is one of the first technical university in Malaysia, established in 2000, based on practice and application oriented. That's why when we talk to partner in GRAS and Austria, and also Aachen in Germany, they're quite familiar with the practice and application oriented. Because if you know, the familiar with the European universities, they have they have two different models of university. They have Hochschule and they have Fachhochschule. So the two partners they are we dealing with is basically the practical oriented. Fachhochschule Johanna in Graz, Austria, and Fachhochschule Aachen in Germany. So they bring us together to look at how they are offering their academic curriculum and how they train their students. So in terms of UTM, we celebrated 20 years in December 2020 and 25 years in this year. And in terms of QS question ranking, we are ranked 401 to 450. We are located in UNESCO World Heritage City, and we are public university with 6 faculties and various engineering program offering diploma, bachelor, master, PhD, doctor of engineering, and doctor of IT and doctor of technology management. So this is basically the journey or the milestone during this grant or proposal. It started in December 2017 when I've been contacted by the Austrian embassy saying that a delegation of researchers from FI Honor, FAH, coming to visit with them and to discuss, to visit our lab facilities. And specifically, they say they want to look at automotive strength in UTM. So we brought them a site visit to the laboratories and show a short presentation of what we're offering. And then they decided they go back to the embassy and they said they want to visit a few other universities. And we are not being told what are the other universities in Malaysia they are visiting. So after a short period of time, they're coming back to us with an email saying, congratulate, we are being selected as their finalists for the next stage. So they asked us to write a few proposals with respect to certain scope. So just to share with you, the proposal writing is starting from December 2017 and finalized the proposal after 7 months. And we have to review the proposal until January 2019. So approximately it took more than 8 months to write the proposal alone and to understand the requirement from the EU. And finally, in 2019, we've been informed the good news that we have been selected. I think in the book that I shared with you, I've written out of 850 applications, we have been shortlisted in the top 147 institutions selected for financing. So in terms of percentage, I think we fall under about 30% of success rate. It's very competitive because everybody around the world is competing for this grant. So alhamdulillah, I think with Allah's bless, we've been selected. And then we finally start the kick-off in Brussels and continue the journey until we face the COVID situation in 2020, where we start with training in Syarahan, I believe. That time I remember during COVID, I was traveling to Syarahan. Coming back, the airport in Bukit was closed down. We were surprised why not even a single light is on. And everybody was put aside and they were talking about why you're traveling here, why you're going to Thailand, so many questions. And then only we realized the country is facing lockdown while we are in the airport. Okay? So we continue the journey. So part of the journey, what they are doing, the first phase of the grant basically is gap analysis. Basically, the Europeans have a little bit of information about universities in Southeast Asia, and they focus on Malaysia, Thailand, and Indonesia. And they perform perform a gap analysis on our academic curriculum and our automotive industry. So what they found that from this, they call it work package 1, located is Polytechnic de Torino. They want to share how the Europeans are transforming, because they also face similar issues in the past. So they want to transform the academic curriculum based on the automotive industry input directly to the university. So from the gap analysis for Malaysia, Indonesia and Thailand, these are some of the key findings. And one of the important key findings is they found that mismatched expectation from the automotive industry to the university graduate. The thing what graduate is producing is not fulfilling 100% to the expectation of the industry. This is the main key finding. And then some of the program automotive engineering are being separated from the mechanical engineering program in some universities. They have a big data of all the universities in Malaysia, but they focus on these two, UTM and UPM. And they notice that our graduates are lacking of high skill, especially in automotive, especially supporting the autonomous and sustainable IR 4.0. And we are also lack of specialized courses in managing automotive, lack of hands-on training, lack of facilities for business operation in the industry. So based on this gap analysis, they further findings so that we establish a lab with hands-on capability. So this is the overall objective of this United project. Basically, they want to capacity building. Basically, they want to transform our university so that we have a better business cooperation between university and the industry. And automotive engineering knowledge, technology transfer, and also the overall objective of targeting in, if we manage to close the gap, we can improve the student employability and also help the automotive industry and also regional development within South Asia to enhance the collaboration. So we also discussed about how National Automotive Policy 2020 has been developed from the framework in 2014 and the new element, next generation vehicle, IR 4.0 and mobility as service. And this is being drafted into the next National Automotive Policy 2020 and 2025 and recently 2024. And some of our team members have been actively involved in establishing the National Automotive Policy. So the method of training within this grant is being structured in a very systematic way, where they have work package WP1 until work package 8. Basically, all the 6 countries, all the participation from all the partners have a very specific task. So basically, for UTM, we are in charge of WP4, which is operational installment of the special lab for engineering knowledge transfer unit, EKDU. So based on gap analysis, the expected result is that before we establish the lab, we have to understand what are the main focus of each respective country. So based on the gap analysis, we declare that Malaysia needs to focus on hybrid trainers and fuel management system, which also supporting hybrid vehicle development, also the future plug-in hybrid system. And Thailand also focus on hybrid powertrain and simulation, Indonesia on electric hybrid and fuel cell vehicle. So the expected outcome of these laboratories with the training system, with the structured training to the student, is expected to increase the automotive student employability in Malaysia. And we also are required supply knowledgeable and well-trained automotive engineers to the industry. So this is basically the establishment of the lab that we propose to the EU. So our lab name is UTM United Future Fuel Design Training Center, or equal EKDU. Because we focus on, in order for you to do hybrid, you need to understand the fuel management system. So we focus on fuel injection system in order to develop our future engineer in automotive. Development of common rail injection system for improved engine performance, and we also incorporate all these EKDU elements into the academic curriculum for bachelor level or master level and so on, and also offer the program to academic industry and also other government agencies. So the target group definitely is our students, lecturers, policy instructors from our partners, our automotive players, like Proton, Remy, Mazda, and so on, fuel suppliers, government agencies, and so on. So the training is structured into two different segments. The first one is the basic training, basically just to educate the know-how on how the fuel injection system works. And the second part is quite advanced, where it involves programming and also coding of fuel injection system. Especially when you're talking about diesel system, the moment you tweak with the injector, you need to recode back to the ECU so that it will function properly. So this is basically the equipment. I can recall the total value funded for this lab is approximately 250,000 from EU. So once they approve our proposal, we say that we want to buy this equipment, we want to train our students to perform coding on ECU using this injector. So this is a short multimedia on how the injector look if it's not working properly. Bad injector will look something like this. It will be squeezed to the right, skewed to the left, and a good injector will have uniform distribution which ensure better combustion inside the cylinder. So this is one of the sessions that one of my PhD students is doing with the injector. Of course, when we're dealing with diesel injector, we have to protect it. You notice there's a protection here because it's a high pressure injector. But for petrol, of course, you can open it to the this is during pre-commissioning in China before they deliver to us. They want to prove that the equipment is working properly before they hand over to them. Okay, so looking forward, based on this information, we work together with Malaysian Institute of Automotive and Robotics, MARI, and we review various policies established in Malaysia, including national automotive policies, national energy transition, low carbon, national energy policy, national transport policy, and also, most importantly, hydrogen economy technology roadmap. So this has become the basis of our future research in UTM by considering some of the elements from the European framework. So, as information well known, we rely on fossil fuel or petroleum. But the trend for fossil fuel cannot be forever. It has to stop because if you look at this prediction, there are so many prediction models presented. And most importantly, if you look at this prediction, most of the models will say that at some point of time we will run out of fossil fuel. So now we are somewhere in 2025, in the middle of this. Based on most of the prediction, it's saying we might reach a peak of energy demand around this year of 2021, 2025 until 2030. So that is the peak where that's why the transition is very important so that we know what is going next. So how do we react once we know that we're going to run out of petroleum, we run out of fossil fuel? I think most of the oil and gas companies already have their roadmap, what they want to do, because they will be running out of business if they don't do anything about this, because they know the transition is going to happen somehow, sometime. And some countries, for example, if you compare like UAE, you know how they transform Dubai, because they know, I believe back 10 years ago, they know that their oil reserve is going to remain for the next up to 40 years. And then they will transform Dubai as a tourist location, because they know after the oil is gone, there's no more economic activity, because they learned Dubai was starting from a fishing village and then transformed to oil and gas giant, and then they will run out of fuel soon. So for us, we need to review back the curriculum. So our internal combustion engine curriculum for bachelor level, we need to focus on efficiency, low emission, and also the use of internal combustion engine in hybrid mode. So electric machine or electric vehicle need to be incorporated into the curriculum so that the student is well versed about the power electronics, the electric motors, the advanced drive propulsion system in hybrid electric vehicle, fuel cell. So this is the next level. If you look at the fuel or the vehicle trend, we start with electric vehicle and we probably go parallel with hybrid, but eventually we need to think about fuel cell because that is the next generation of vehicle. And we have to focus on energy management, storage system, so mechanical storage, electrochemical, charging station, and in planning we need to focus also in advanced other system and vehicle related equipment and control system for ADAS system. So this is one example when we perform the analysis. This is one of the so-called very drastic changes in academic curriculum in Thailand. The name of the bachelor is New Energy Automotive Engineering. New Energy Automotive Engineering program at bachelor level. It emphasis on energy management and energy maintenance and also energy specialized courses. These courses, if you look at this university, this is a real university, a private university in Thailand. Cost is about 640,000 baht, which is if converted to Malaysian ringgit is about 85,000 for 4 years program. And they are quite aggressive offering this. Definitely when they offer, they have a demand. Because if not, they cannot offer with this price. You're putting 84,000 ringgit for 4 years program. If you offer in Malaysia, I don't think people will come. Okay? Even I think in Malacca, MMU, mechanical engineering is 60,000. So this is even more than MMU. Okay? But they have looked at the economic trends, the energy trend, and they are preparing for the future. If you don't do anything about it, then we find this out. So when you talk about energy storage, in terms of battery technology, the battery has improved for the past 10 years. So you can ask a question, how far can you go with what kind of battery? So battery started with lead acid, 65 km to 105 km. This is the early stage. I think I remember last time we participated in proton green mobility in 2012. That time, full charge of a car, overnight charge in the lab, can only travel, they make a few choices. If you travel from London with this proton, proton saga converted to electric, if you travel from London, you'll stop before Sungai Besito. Because the range was 96 kilometers, I remember that time, exactly. And they say you probably have to go to UPM, ask them, can you allow her to charge another overnight? Then, and if you're traveling across the highway, probably one day traveling, you have to stay overnight, to charge overnight, come back. So you need 3 days to charge with this technology. But now the battery has changed to nickel, lithium ion, and lithium. I think the material scientists might know better. Or the rare earth material which capable of enhancing the range of battery. This is from 250 to 300 kilometers. But I heard recently there are some batteries who can last up to 1,000 kilometers, but you need a specific configuration. Okay? So they incorporate regenerative charging while driving. So you cannot rely on charge, use until it totally drain out and charge again. So you need to recharge while using it. So the energy outlook in automotive and also for the world, basically if you look at the trend, of course the trend of energy demand is going up, it's never going down. It's the same as a typical groceries price, everything going up, nothing going down except for the rate. So the rest of the world demand is very high and the main dominant is China. So this breakdown of energy demand by countries, selected countries, for example, China is the world leader at the moment. China demand per year is about 4.9, they call it exajoule, new unit exajoule, EJ. Exajoule is, you go to max 1 times 10 to the power of 18. I just try to digest, how much is 1 exajoule? Anybody want to try? How much is 1 exajoule? Normally they remember this. When I ask question, everybody is looking. I remember. 1 exajoule, to share with you, is equivalent to about 165 million barrels of oil. That is 1 exajoule, which can power 25,000 homes in the US. 1 exajoule. And China is using 4.9, close to 5 exajoule, and they are the world leader in using all the energy. And then when you look at the energy type, of course they are supported slightly by nuclear power, but the main big chunk is coming from renewable, the green, and the light green is natural gas, and also a little bit of fossil because I don't think China have fossil fuel. They probably export. And then they have coal power as well. So as compared to so-called world police, they call it world police, United States, they also the energy used by China is about 3 times of US. So that is showing how aggressive they are going, and we know how they are going to become the next economy giant, and they transform everything. They use whatever they can use. Okay, so coming back to our discussion for automotive, for internal combustion engine, which future fuel will go? So you have option: is it sync fuel, synthetic fuel, or e-fuel, or biofuel? And of course, everything is talking about carbon neutral, no emission. And one big question: is it electricity? Is it hydrogen? Okay. So to answer that question, we have to look at these are one of the materials shared by the EU from European Road Transport Research Advisory Council. They say the fuel option for the future will be split into 3: the conventional oil, diesel and gasoline, natural gas, and you have a big chunk of the renewable. So renewable, of course you have electricity, hydrogen, and you have BTL, biomass to liquid biogas. So next question is, will all of them will be used? It depends on how easy to produce them. So fuel option for IC engine for future fuel trend. Most of experts agree that for the next few decades, the substitution will be in favor of this four: biofuel, synthetic fuel, pure electric, and also hydrogen. So if you remember closely, I highlighted hydrogen. Most of the materials shared by the European highlighted hydrogen in many locations. And then when you look at the world primary energy supply by source, we still have coal power, crude oil, natural gas, and small chunk of hydroelectric. Indonesia is one of them. And nuclear fuel, and we have biomass, and also very small percentage of renewable. But when you look at the pie chart, the renewable represents about 30%, and it's growing because everybody, all the global community, is giving incentive for renewable development. And everybody trying to move away from nuclear, trying to move away from coal power, and also oil due to the depletion, and natural gas. So coming back, which fuel basically will make it to the race? They are basically competing. All the companies are competing because if they can become the leader of that particular energy, and that energy is booming, then they will get a big chunk of the business. So the big primary energy, we have fossil fuel, we have renewable sources, and then various process to convert it to energy carrier, and also hydrogen appear here, and eventually be used for engine, for transportation, for non-transport application. And also we review back the technology for electric vehicle. Have a look at the current situation in EV. So this is EV car sale in selected car market, of course dominant by China, European, US, and the rest of the world. So the fact that we know for now, up to 2024, the rise of EV sale is increasing about 25%. From 2023, you look at the global trend, this one is increasing to 25%. But the EV sale from the total vehicle alone contribute up to 20% of the total vehicle sale. And definitely China still leading 2/3 of the market from global EV sale in 2024. And look at the trend here, we have two trends. One is the BEV, battery electric vehicle, basically the vehicle with full electric, you charge, you drain, you charge, you drain. And you have plug-in hybrid vehicle where you charge, you regenerate, you recharge, you regenerate. And you can see a major increase of this 8% on plug-in hybrid. due to the fact that probably I shared earlier, nowadays of course you say if your car can charge full charge overnight, you can travel 500 km, provided in smooth transition of traffic, not during Eid celebration, holiday, Christmas, all that. So I remember one of my relatives coming from mosque, they say, my car is full charge. Say according to the dashboard, say I can travel to Bangi, no problem. But suddenly, it reached Malacca, Bukit Katil, the battery life is wanted due to the traffic. And then he got panic, saying, where's the charging place? And then say, with this wanted, I cannot reach Bangi. Probably I reach somewhere in Perdana, I have to reach back. So those are the situations where drive people to go for plug-in hybrid. Due to the fact that you still have some reserve. You can drive, they can guide you. You don't have to drive too fast, you drive at lower speed and you start managing your braking. Because regenerative braking is charging your battery. It's actually the same technology in F1. People don't realize F1 is actually a hybrid. I think people, if anyone watch F1 race, there's a term called curse. Curse, not cursing, like orang Melaka cursing, curse, KDRS. It's called kinetic energy recoupling system. Basically, the moment you brake, you are charging your battery. You brake, you charge your battery. So if you watch if you a fan of F1 race, next time you watch on live TV, have a look at the top right corner. They will say KDRS. They have a battery bar indication like your phone battery. If that curse is full, that means they are qualified to use that curse. The moment they press, they get 6 second boost, and you can speed up, but you cannot use it all the place. They have specific range. Only straight lane you can use it, just for overtake. If you use it at the corner, you will fly away from the corner. And so there's a specific penalty for F1. So F1 have changed to hybrid for some time without people realizing it, and now they have electric F1, F1, full electric. But they incorporate the sound. I think because without the sound, it's no joy. You're driving a car without sound. Nowadays, a lot of manufacturers with EV, they incorporate the sound. Basically, they kind of like scamming you. There's no sound for not so much of sound. They're making a sound so that you feel enjoyable to drive. So you know, oh, the car is moving. If not, people don't know whether the car is moving or is braking. Okay, so when everybody talking about renewable, have a look at how is this impact in terms of energy generation. So this basically simulate the land requirement if you want to drive a vehicle for a range of 12,000 km per year, right? Because typically over a year, typically we drive more than 10,000. So it's simulating 12,000 km. So if your car is powered by biofuel, biodiesel, so the land requirement basically is the land required to plant palm oil tree and use it to become biodiesel. So the land requirement is approximately 5,000 meters square, this yellow. And you decided to change your biodiesel into hydrogen from biomass and fuel cell. So this land requirement drastically reduced 5 times into 1,000 meters square into this chocolate color. 5 times reduced. So you're using hydrogen with fuel cell. And then if you decided you want to use hydrogen with electricity from wind power, it reduced further 10 times from the original biodiesel into this light blue. And you decided to go for PV with fuel cell, it reduced further, become a green. And you say, I want to go with PV plus battery electric powertrain, so it reduced. In terms of reduction, it's good. But we have to bear in mind, this reduction also comes with increase of cost. You can reduce this reduction, but the investment of technology increase opposite direction. So one of the observations during our discussion at the EU collaboration, we can conclude that different sectors require different solution. There's no solution to fit all. So for example, if you talk about road transport, you can spread into 3, short distance, medium distance, long distance. So for short distance, electric is the best. Short distance. Okay? But when you go medium distance, electric might not give the full solution. You might struggle. You might have a different mindset. When you travel, you don't have a peace of mind thinking where is the next charging station. Going to get you have to bear in mind where is the next charging station. Don't get caught in traffic and your battery die out. So hydrogen and methane is more probable the best solution. For long distance, then you will talk about biofuel, synthetic fuel, LNG and LPG. Okay? So these are for road transport. But for railway at the moment, dominated by electric, also possible to use biofuel or hydrogen with a huge investment. Aviation generally still depend on kerosene, but changing the production method of kerosene, it's possible to go for biomass-based kerosene. In the world at the moment, as we speak about biodiesel, our neighboring country, Indonesia, in the past we looked down on Indonesia. We think Indonesia is nothing in technology. But in this Erasmus program, we noticed that Indonesia, for example, I share with you, during this Erasmus program, all researchers are being paid according to EU rate. And our rate is the lowest among the 3 South Asian countries, Malaysia, Thailand and Malaysia. Number 1 is Thailand, they are being paid 75 euro per hour. Indonesia being paid 65 euro per hour, Malaysia is 55. And we ask questions, why Indonesia being paid more than us? A lot of Indonesian workers come to Malaysia. And the coordinator said, it's not up to us. It's up to the EU, and they have a database. They show me the database. It's depending on the GDP of the country. So now, as we speak, as we look down in our neighbor in Indonesia, GDP in Indonesia is much higher than Thailand is, of course, one of the highest in South Asia. All industry go to invest to Thailand. Indonesia, while people talking about biofuel, Malaysia talking about biofuel in vehicle, we are struggling to go from B7 to B10. Indonesia have surpassed us, they go for B40. And yet, Thailand also go for B40. On the market, you go to petrol station, in the market, is 40% palm oil price. Malaysia is still struggling with 10%. Want to go to 50%, go to cabinet or 5 years and then, go back to 10%. And while we are arguing with all that, Indonesia also surpassed the rest of the world. They go for bio-aviation fuel. First in the world. No other country can do that. And people ask, why can't we do that? We have Syarahan, we have aerospace industry. The main answer is, because we don't have the core aerospace industry. We don't have. We have Syarahan making the skin of aerospace, not the engine. Indonesia is making the engine of the aviation. They have their own helicopter aviation industry. They have their own aerospace industry. So they make biodiesel 100% aviation fuel. They successfully tested full fleet biodiesel from Jakarta to France. Coming back 100%. Nobody can share it because they have their own industry, their own engine. Okay? So, aviation, another potential, but I think we are way back behind Indonesia. And for marine transport, looking at biofuel, hydrogen is there for inland waterway, small boat, and LPG for short shipping, LNG, and also nuclear for PhD. So, the scenario based on AVL is the company, actually this company is located next to Perdana, just side by side. In Graz, Austria. I visited ABM many times. And they propose these are the future scenario of automotive. But this is their proposal in 2016. They say by 2050, potential scenario look like something like this. For commercial off-road with regenerative fuel, plug-in hybrid, propulsion, N1 and 2 trucks, pure electric buses, battery and fuel cell. And for passenger vehicles, definitely fuel electric, fuel cell, and also 100% regen fuel from hydrogen, from regen sources. So these are the two. I think we can see electric now, but fuel cell and hydrogen still in research mode somewhere here and there. So when I talk about fuel for hydrogen, the most promising long-term solution, it has to be produced by renewable sources. If not, you might doesn't solve the problem. The problem is basically emission-free, but if you produce hydrogen from non-renewable sources, then you still polluting the environment. So many direct applications in transport, agriculture, heating. The hydrogen is also is a well-known technology. It started, I think, World War I in Germany. They already started with hydrogen a long time ago, but then they put aside because they see the oil and gas is coming. And now they can take back all the hydrogen from their museum and all. And the main obstacle is lack of diffuse infra and of course the high cost. Due to the technology know-how, we need to master that in order to. So these are some of the examples. When you talk conceptual hydrogen scale, from production side on the left and from usage on the right. So hydrogen generation, preferably you need the green hydrogen from renewable, but also can produce from nuclear, from fossil, from conventional storage, and various aspects of application can be used here. And hydrogen now is also being given color code depending on the mode of production is being produced. So if you produce via electrolysis from renewable sources, from solar panel or wind farm, then the only emission that you get is also green, you get oxygen, and this is called green hydrogen. And in the US, they are giving a price. If you are selling green hydrogen, the price will be something like $28 per kilo. But if you are selling brown hydrogen, it's only like $2-3 per kilo. So this is good for marketing. And they will, if anybody claims, they say, actually I work with Alexander previously on hydrogen. Actually he shared with me, he wanted me to go with him to pitching on hydrogen plant in Malaysia in US investor. And then suddenly happened and then I said, okay, put aside this one, put on KIV. Because we are talking about 2 million investment, but I say 2 million is nothing. He says it's not, ROI is not good enough on a much bigger scale. So you have pink hydrogen, it has nothing to do with ladies. Ladies pink. Why? Because the ladies work the already. It has to do with nuclear power plant. So they call it pink. Because the emission is nuclear waste. Grey hydrogen is basically from steam methane reforming from natural gas. The emission is CO2, still doesn't solve our global warming issue. Blue hydrogen from carbon capture and storage from gasification of steam. Two sources, natural gas and coal, also producing CO2. And definitely black or brown hydrogen from gasification, coal power or fossil, and also have emitted of CO2. So the best potential is basically here with hydrogen. Okay, so this is to share with you some of the activities in research in hydrogen in PEM. Basically, alhamdulillah, I managed to patent this hydrogen cell in 2018. Actually, the submission is 2018. The patent was granted in 2022, and we get various medal. But now it's about applying to the right industry. So this is generation number 12 of my invention. It started from small, and now we have to customize it according to the specific application. And like I said earlier, there's no one solution fit all application. We need to customize. So to share with you some of these hydrogen research that we have been doing. We started with marine first. This is Malacca River Cruise. We've been invited by BPSM to test out how much can we reduce with the use of hydrogen. Actually, we uniformly produced this and tested fuel, and we confirmed to them we can save the fuel up to 25 to 30% of the current fuel they're using in Malacca River Cruise. Because I think some of you familiar with Malacca River Cruise. It's a very non-aerodynamic vessel, very flat, reaching The travel is only 9 kilometers, 4.5 kilometers going back, 9 kilometers. But the fuel usage is disaster. Okay. And but just to share with you, when we share this thing with the board of director from TPSM, one of the reaction they give to us, they say no problem. If the fuel price go up, we just increase the ticket of the regulators, which is quite upset because as a researcher we want to introduce green technology, but I said no problem. We increase, no problem. It's a quick solution to that. But we say okay, no mind, we put it on hold, but we continue with one. The solution is that. And then we also try for agriculture. This is for the audience. Actually, you can have 50 acres corn field at the back. 50 acres, sweet corn. And this is the diesel engine pumping the irrigation system for the corn. So we tested. This one also we get around 70% improved. This is basically the brown color. This is the diesel used. We call it not clean diesel. It's like reused diesel. You buy it somewhere. But the moment you put in here, you start the engine. Within 5 minutes, the whole barrel drain out. Because this is to irrigate 50 acres of cornfield. So they call me. I say, why don't you try out the hydrogen? We try out. It's managed, but I think the size that we use is too small for that kind of engine. This engine is about approximate. It's like a truck engine, like 6,000 cc. So it's drinking the diesel like like a thirsty camel. I was surprised. Okay, this the moment I was like, it's empty. Just top up again, it's empty. Okay, and then we also test out in U10 bus. This is you might be associated testing on bus. Similar result around that range, 20-25% reduction. And we tested on motorcycle. Our motorcycle also a bit tricky. We make the assumption the motorcycle is full carbureted, but we end up using a 600 cc, right? The Yamaha is using ECU. So when you have a vehicle using ECU, the ECU will disturb your enrichment of hydrogen. So it doesn't allow any reaching condition. So it's disturbing. So we need to do something where we need to bypass the ECU in order to work. Okay. So finally, to conclude, one of the most promising future energy is basically we still rely on hydrogen. There's a lot of future potential on hydrogen we can work out. And for this particular research, in KTU established to increase the collaboration between industry and industry. Curriculum development need to be aligned with industry needs. The university needs to become a center of reference, but then we cannot leave the state of the art technology. And sustainability of the KTU operation as a means of income to the university, and we need to seriously look at ways to close the gap between academic and industry. Because when talking about this gap, a lot of people from university say there's no gap. And you ask around, say there's no gap. We are very close to the industry. But in reality, we are talking different language. Jauh halus dan jauh kasar. Okay, so I would like to acknowledge all the partners involved in this particular program, from all the partners from Thailand, Indonesia, and Europe. So I just want to share a famous quote from Michael Jordan. He says, individual talent win a game, but teamwork and intelligence win championship. So it's a big difference. You want to play a ball game or you want to play the championship. So team basically refer to together we can achieve more. So with that, I thank you. And these are some of the partners involved in our project from all the 6 countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor, for your inspiring and insightful presentation. As a token of appreciation, we now invite Professor Dr. Muhammad Faizi, Dean of FTTM, to present the ceremony to Professor T.S. Dr. Tamaldin. Please proceed. Since all good things must come to end. On behalf of organizing committee, thank you all for being here and supporting these special events. We now invite our speaker and distinguished guests to proceed to FTK and lobby to enjoy the refreshment prepared for you. With that, we officially close the inaugural lecture series. Thanks once again and selamat berjumpa.